Okay, details are in the description. This is the second chapter of Stage Controller, um, the Dropout arc of the Stage Controller novel, which is the first volume of a broader universe called 11 Keys. And this chapter, unlike the previous chapter, this one actually is told through the perspective of the main character for this particular arc. And she woke up at the end of the last chapter. If you check that video out, um, you would already know that this person is called Kimika. She is um, going to be the one that carries the bulk of this arc. Um, so at this point in the chapter, weeks have passed since she woke up. She is now kind of like a new initiate of Stage League of Team Central. They made a deal off screen where she would help them handle missions because obviously she is strong. So she's gonna help them deal with stage related missions, and in return, she's gonna have access to some of the resources that um, that stage has in order to find her friend Siesta. And um, but what the as a recruit or potential recruit, there are still certain limits. So she still wouldn't have absolute um, access over a lot of things as yet, but she realizes that where she is now is completely different from where she was previously. You see, Kimeka is was a an assassin in training, right? Part of an organization without a name, but called Nameless. And something happened. Her friend Siesta did something that caused an explosion, and that was how she ended up in the middle of nowhere in outer space, right? So this episode, this chapter, it it shows Kimika, Kimika, Raymond, Tish, and the other or organism that um, that was discovered in outer space turns out to be a creature similar to that of a cat, similar appearance to a cat, but in this world they're not called cats. Um, but that's the creature. Kimika named him Kit. He is he to put it simply he to put it simple he helped the reason why Kimika woke up was partly due to the tests that Hardy was doing on Kit and Kimika at some point together as well. So Kit is up, they're on a mission, so they're in costumes and masks or whatever. They're tracking down a a mutation and a thing that is called a rouge, and these things are formed when weird rocks weird rocks latch onto a biological entity and then causes them to mutate. And this whole thing is done, uh, it's mainly caused by the League of Villains, which is Paramount Dominion. So they're like the bad guys, they're the ones that trigger that kind of. causes this phenomenon. So stage central from stage, they're tracking this creature down to uh, destroy the rock and destroy it as well. But the rock, there's a connection between the rock and what happened with Kimika's friend, right? And it's not explained, it's not clarified that much in this chapter, but Kimika, they're going after the the creature. Kimika didn't follow Raymond's order to eliminate it quickly enough. Um, and but Raymond, they eventually destroy the thing, and they have to, thanks to Hardy, they get to escape, uh, to clear the premises fast, because the enforcers, and the enforcers are basically the lawful league of the galaxy, right? And they don't, the, being a vigilante is illegal, so they notice stage activity. They're trying to uh, catch them or find them. Hardy helps uh, Tish, Raymond, Kimika, and Kit get out of there, and we get a slight display on the abilities of the stage group, and they all have code names as well. Tish is called T Shadow, and that is kind of connected to her ability. She can phase through different things. Um, Raymond is called Blade, i.e., he is exceptionally skilled with blades. Um, Hardy, it was mentioned in the previous chapter, but Hardy is called Binary B. Kind of makes sense. Um, so yeah, and then there is Kimika, who has the shell skin ability, and that causes her to simultaneously transform herself into um, weapons. Like the easy way to describe it would be that when she activates her ability and she forms a gun, for example, her skin takes on the layers of the gun. So she herself is actually like a gun, right? To put it simply. And Kit is really flexible, and he has heightened senses. His senses, Kimika has heightened senses as well, but Kit is at a more advanced level, to put it simply. Um, so this chapter ends with Kimika training, pretty much just giving us a brief look into what has been going on in between the last chapter and this one. And it actually ends with there being an intruder on the ship, on the Gambit, right? And Kimika does detect some familiarity with whatever caused this intruder alarm, but that person is not yet revealed. And the chapter ends with Hardy and the rest of them figuring out that the enforcers know how to break through their stealth, their, because the stage tries to do things in the shadows, right? And if the enforcers know how to detect them in those shadows, then things are gonna be weird. But they still plan on having their league assembly, and that's the end of the chapter.